Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lion's Heart. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the two major facets of awakening or enlightenment. So, if you've been on this journey, on the spiritual journey, you've probably run into a lot of confusion about what enlightenment is. It's a super confusing and debated topic. Some traditions make it seem like it's this mystical, unreachable thing, and like only five people have ever reached it, and that it only happens once every thousand lifetimes, and all of this kind of mythical kind of nonsense, honestly. And then there's other people that are kind of willy nilly about it, like it's not a big deal, everybody's already enlightened, there's nothing you have to do, there's no one you have to be, blah, blah, blah. And this is also kind of silly. So, what we want to do is become very grounded in a very realistic and achievable definition of enlightenment. So, very quickly, when you read books about like Buddhism and the Buddha, and if you've studied Buddhism and Zen and these kind of traditions, you'll notice that they speak about this emptiness, right? This emptiness, this void, this awareness, and that is enlightenment. Like when there's no self and you realize that you're not this separate ego, but that you're actually the awareness in which everything is happening, that your nothingness, that everything is just this awareness happening. And that's true in a very realistic sense. Obviously, that's true. Like just as a side note, you're listening to this video, there's someone that's looking at this on the other end, but really question what your experience is. Like, who is in there? Is there really a person in there, inside of there, behind the eyes experiencing this? Like, and if there is a person with a name and a story and all these things, where is the evidence of that person? And like, where is that? And what's that? And then also take that and like compare it to your actual real grounded experience. Like, what's actually happening in your experience right now, in your bubble, in your awareness, what's going on there. And what you might notice is that there is no proof of a human. In fact, it's just experience. It's just phenomena and awareness and things occurring. And they're occurring inside of something, right? They have to be for you to be experiencing them. So there is something on the other end of the screen, but that's watching this, but it's not a human. It's not a person. It's not your story. It's not your name or your identification or where you grew up. And all of these are just stories. What's really there tangibly is just pure awareness. It's just pure beingness. It's pure experience. And you can kind of tap into that as I talk about it. Like really, what's going on over there? Is it a person? Is it a person that's happening over there? There's no way. It's just like that's absurd. It's obscene. It's much larger than that. It's the beingness. And it might seem weird at first if you've never heard this before, but that's a bit of an intro into enlightenment. And so that would be this facet of awareness, right? That's kind of like your nature, is you're this awareness. And we've got confused with thinking that we're the person inside, behind the eyes, the person, the being, experiencing reality, and the stories that we tell ourselves. But if you're really just honest about like the tangible reality, you'll see the more you contemplate this that the story of being a human is more and more unprovable and ridiculous. So that's the first pillar, right? That's awareness. That's what the Buddhists speak of. That's what Zen is all about. It's about going deeper and deeper into that awareness, deeper and deeper into that nothingness, right? And just dropping the identity, dropping being a human, dropping your story, dropping your name, etc. What the Buddhists miss, though, and I'm not sure the story behind this or why they don't talk about it, but what they don't speak about is the love aspect of reality. And I think maybe there's a reason for it, like that they don't want to have practitioners get lost in, love and going into the clouds and being all lovey-dovey and thinking everything is love, because we see this with like new age yoga and spirituality, where people get lost in the love thing, and it becomes very ungrounded, and it becomes not very like based in reality. It becomes kind of like they go too airy, they go into the clouds, and they don't actually really understand the teaching of love or what love is. So that's the other side of it, and the Buddhists do not speak about that. But other traditions like Tantra and like the Hindu and Sufism, they speak about this aspect of love. If you read Rumi's poems, or even like indigenous cultures, a lot of them speak about this aspect of love, right? Like this aspect of the spiritual heart, and that reality is all held in love, and that the metaphysical substance of reality is love, and that the point of life, the point of reality, the point of this whole dream, illusion, whatever you want to call it, is to maximize love, to experience love, even in the dark, twisted, confusing forms, and that ultimately that it's all held in this deep bubble of love. That the awareness is not just awareness, but it's loving awareness, and that is God, and that is what reality is, and that's what you are. You are that loving awareness. That's your nature. That's your reality. But as humans, we got confused, and we became egos and became separated, and with that came darkness. Not that necessarily any of that was an accident or wasn't supposed to happen, and it can be hard to drop into this notion that everything is love when you see all these horrible things happening and all the human suffering. But what a lot of traditions say is that that's just a piece of the puzzle. If you see the whole puzzle from the fully zoomed out lens, it makes sense. And also, it's something that you just have to experience. You can't just, believe that it's all love. As nice as that is, you'll still be missing out on the metaphysical component, and understanding that it's really not even an emotion. It's not the emotion of love. It's a metaphysical truth. Like, this table is love. Like, your shirt is love. It's literally made out of this consciousness, which is loving bliss consciousness. And this is actually where a lot of paths disagree and diverge, and a lot of masters will say, no, there's no love and bliss, it's just awareness, it's pure nothingness. And some other paths will say, no, there's Satchitananda, there's bliss and love inside of this awareness, and it's both. It is awareness, but it's loving awareness, it's conscious, it's an aware awareness. So that kind of explains the two facets of enlightenment. I would love to hear your thoughts or comments, and if this video helped you out, please press like and subscribe. We've got a ton more of this kind of content coming. And I'll just end it with saying that I've studied this stuff for about 10 years, and I've experienced retreats with masters from both traditions, and I would definitely hold the frame that if a teaching is not speaking about love, and they're not mentioning loving awareness, and they're avoiding it, and they're making fun of it, they are missing a huge component of awakening and enlightenment and spirituality. And that love is our actual essence, and that it's very much a truth, a metaphysical truth, an absolute. Love is an absolute, as a lot of mystics, Ramana Maharshi, Rumi, many others have spoken about. So there you go. Please take this with a grain of salt and do your own exploration and take this on your journey. I hope it helped. From Lion's Heart, much love. Ciao.